Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I would like to talk about the huge punishments for doing higher tier nightmare dungeons if you are not prepared for them. So in this video we will be doing level 80 dungeon, not level 80 but the enemies are level 80, so the nightmare sigil is around level 20 something. And as you can see, I got one-shotted right there. And the issue I have with Nightmare Dungeons with co-op play is that we only have 4 revives per team. So it's not like 4 revives if I do the same dungeon solo, or if I have 2 or 3 people running with me, we all have only 4 revives for the whole dungeon. I don't really like this mechanic because not to waste the allocated 4 revives, one has to revive, go back from the start of the dungeon and just revive, kill all the mobs which are still left on the way, or which really are in a way of reviving other players, so they have to kill them, after which they can get to the player to revive them. And as you can see, right now we have 0 revives remaining, which is a tough spot for us, but we'll be able to finish this dungeon. So the general idea here is, if you are not strong enough, don't really do the higher tier dungeons. They don't reward you with any better loot or experience gain. Just do the dungeons which are in which mobs are 3 levels above you to get maximum amount of experience possible. So in my case, right now I'm level 71, so the best case for me would be to do nightmare dungeons in which the enemy level is 74. And that's what I did after I finished this dungeon. I was progressing in dungeons which were lower tier, but the progression was much smoother. I got far ahead, the progress was really insane. I did them much faster than this one. Of course, there were like one hit mobs that one-shotted my rogue character, but still I had 4 revives. I did the dungeon solo so that I wouldn't need to waste my time on waiting for revive from the teammate, especially if they are not as strong as I am at that point. So yeah, I see a huge issue in this. Of course, you may say that you have just to get better at the game, and so that your characters won't die, to look at all the hardcore players. But sometimes, the enemy can one hit you, there is something going on in life, or there is a stutter or some other issue, technical one, and you lose focus on the game, and maybe your character dies in one hit from some unlucky critical strike damage from the enemy or something like that. So basically that's the rant video I had, and if you have any similar issues, please write down in the comment section below. I'm interested in hearing from you guys if you experienced the punishment for doing co-op play. I'm not saying that with 3 or 4 people it will be worse, but I noticed that for a squad of 2 people, this can be a real issue. Also, I noticed that we are finishing the enemies in a much slower pace. That's why I went and grinded solo and only nightmare dungeons in which enemies were 3 to 4 levels above my characters. That really helped me enjoy the game much more, but yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Actually, we did manage to beat the whole dungeon. If you just keep on watching, you will be able to see how we actually finish the dungeon. And the most hilarious part is that you mostly die not to the boss fights, but to this random mob waves, or when progressing in this dungeon. And that's really hilarious for me. So that's not the content is made in a way that boss fight is not as challenging as the whole progression of the nightmare dungeon. At least in my opinion, right now it looks like this.
Follow me.
And there we got to the boss. This will be an easy and quick fight. I believe that bosses need to be buffed because they don't really pose that much challenge, but the whole progression to the boss is a little bit tedious, especially if you do quite a lot of nightmare dungeons. And here it is, tier 26 only, and still we had to spend quite a lot of time, and it was not really that productive. That is why I mentioned uh, and here is another mistake I made. I didn't allocate all the whole experience of the run in the nightmare dungeon. Only I got a little bit of it and used it on my first sigil right there, and then I forgot to allocate the remainder of that experience. And here I'm already looking at a lower tier nightmare sigils, which I will be running pretty soon. Subscribe to Casual Gamer Plays channel for exciting gaming content. Be sure to hit the like button and stay tuned for the latest video releases. And I will see you in the next videos later. Bye.